Welcome to the Courtroom Advocate channel. My name is Miriam Washira. Today I have a question for you. Where do children learn to abuse? In my course of work, I met so many children who were in the system because of abusing other children. And the question to ask is, where do children learn to abuse other children? I'll tell you a story of a fact finding that I went for in Isiolo. One day while I'm in the office working for one of the children's NGO, we got a call that there were several young girls who were being abused while in school. When we had this, of course, it was a bit of a concern if children are being abused at school. And then it was just very young children, you know, more of the nursery school children, girls being abused. So we headed down to Isiolo for fact finding to see what was happening, you know, and how could we help these girls. I think what was most shocking is that when we got to Isiolo and we went to the police station because we had been told that the perpetrator of this abuse had been apprehended and arrested. When we went to the police station, it was shocking to find an 8-year-old boy is the one who was arrested for these acts. It became a concern because, one, in Kenya, for you to be sexually, to be liable for sexual offenses, you must be 12 and above. So one, this boy is already under the age, but also whatever he was doing to this little girl was quite concerning. So as children's advocate, our first concern was even with this boy, to ask him, you know, why did you learn this? Why are you doing this to the little girls? And of course, after, you know, a lot of talking and asking a lot of questions, the boy did open up. And what he told us was shocking. So in the area where they live, there is a camp that trains some uniformed force around the area. And because the area is also dry, this is Isiolo, most of the families that surround that area go to fetch water within that particular camp. So this boy used to visit this camp as part, you know, they would even sometimes go with the mother to fetch the water, and even children used to go within the camp to visit, to get the water, sometimes to just play. And of course, some of the trainees there were quite friendly and so on. So this boy told us that when in one of those escapades into the camp, he was invited to a house by one of the trainees. So what would happen when he visited the house, this particular person would put on pornography on the TV, and he would make this boy watch with him. So this boy watched this pornography. What he could not confirm is actually whether himself, besides watching the pornography, was abused. But according to him, that is where he learned these things. So once he learned them, when he went to school, he wanted to experiment. He wanted to see, is this real? He wanted to see what it is. And of course, he couldn't do this with his age mates. Of course, they are a bit more, maybe they're more resistant and so forth. So he went for the really young girls, you know, the nursery school girls. So he would call them into the bushes, and he would, you know, sexually assault them and so on, you know. And he would try and practice what he saw on the videos on the girls. It was one of those very emotional situations, because this is, you know, a young boy. These are other mothers who are now have come with an uproar about this, and they are saying they want justice. Of course, legally, the boy is not even liable. And it became quite one of those challenging cases to deal with, because everybody wants justice. But of course, the conclusion of the matter was that the boy needed counseling. The boy was actually now a child in need of care and protection because of the abuse he had gone through. We informed the police that they actually needed to arrest the trainees or these people who were allowing or forcing kids to watch pornography with them, so that the matter can be closed. I think the heartbreaking thing is that when the mothers of these children learned of where the boy had learned, and about that now there's going to be some arrests of these adults in the camp. What was shocking is that they all of a sudden became very resistant, and they did not want these arrests. And for them, they said would want to maintain they would want to maintain a good relationship with this camp because it was supplying for them water, it was supplying for them so many other things. And so it became a catch-22 that one, this camp, the trainees in the camp are abusing their children, but of course there is this also other basic needs of water, basic need of food, and these parents are asking themselves, so once we have this bad relationship, if we are not allowed to go into the camp to get water, what happens to us? Of course, it was a catch-22 for the parents, and but the agreement is that we needed to talk to the camp management so that they ensure there is no child abuse happening in the area. We left the matter with the administration in the area to talk together, to bring together the community to talk about the issues on child protection, on the well-being of the children, and so on. For the boy, we did have one of our counselors visit him quite often to offer counseling to him to see how he was doing. And also for the little girls, the mothers were counseled and guided on how to guide their girls from the trauma that they had gone through. So as parents, sometimes we are shocked when we see some things happening, but it is because some of the adults that they're relating with are harming them. They're the ones who are introducing them to harmful practices, and this can go on. And that is why we are seeing so many children now into the juvenile justice system, in the criminal system, committing some very heinous crimes. But we have to agree that as adults, as parents, that children learn from us. There's no child who was born knowing how to abuse, knowing how to be a bully. They all learn it from our houses, from our neighborhood, from the community we live in. So as community, we need to take responsibility to ensure that our children are receiving the right examples, they have the right mentors, and so forth. But as parents, we need to be closer to our children to know how was your day, what did you do today, and so on, so that we can avert them from getting involved in crime, getting involved in other malpractices within the community. So it's a call to all of us to be the guardians and to be good examples to our children. Thank you.